Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our podcast. Today, I have a special guest, Kyla Treadwell from Holy Cross. Kyla, why don't you say hello?
Hi.
Great to have you, and thank you for agreeing to this interview. So, I'm going to be asking you some questions and getting to know you, and letting our listeners really get to know who Kyla is and what she's all about. And we'd love to hear about, your senior year. You're growing up in the area, and the success story that you've basically created, and your goals and your aspirations and what you're going to be doing in college. So, first of all, I just want to ask you a couple questions. So, random questions or easy questions to start. So, where were you born?
I was born in Camden, New Jersey.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 18 years old.
So, your birthday is March 22nd. So, does that mean you celebrated your birthday in quarantine?
Yes, I did. I actually.
No. What did you do, or how did you celebrate?
My mom and my cousin went out to buy like seafood and stuff, and we came back home and we like cooked it and we had like dinner together and cake.
That sounds that sounds like fun. I mean, you kind of make the best out of a tough situation. That was at the very, very beginning of the quarantine. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's great that your mom was really creative.
Mhm.
So, what high school do you attend?
I go to Holy Cross.
Okay, great. And what year you're going to graduate in 2020, right? So you're a senior.
Yes, today was my last day.
Uh, Today was your last day.
Yeah.
Congratulations. So,
Thank
what are
you.
they doing for? What are they doing for graduation and things like that? They have anything planned?
I think we're gonna have graduation in August. Pretty sure.
Wow, that's great. Well, hopefully they'll be able to get together. Do they have any plans in particular, or they haven't announced it yet?
They haven't announced it yet. They just said that we're still gonna have graduation. There's not that many kids in my class, so I feel like we'll be good to have it.
How many kids are in your class?
There's like 40 something kids in my class.
Wow, that's a small class.
Yeah.
But I guess you know everybody, and you're really are probably a close knit group, which is fantastic.
Mhm.
So why don't you tell us about your family?
I live with my mom, and my dad lives in Philly. But I still see my dad really often. He comes, picks me up from school, takes me to practice, picks me up from practice, and it's just like it's good.
That's great. So did any of your family members play basketball?
My dad played basketball in high school and college.
And what did your dad think about playing basketball in college?
He loved it. He actually went to a school in New York first, but then he transferred to Millersville in PA, and he really liked it there too.
That's fantastic. So did you always live in the same town, or?
Yes, I've always lived in Camden, my whole life.
That's great. And we talked about it, and you said you went to Camden Forward School growing up.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So what grade did you go there, from kindergarten all the way up to eighth grade?
Yeah, I spent my whole childhood there. It was a lot of fun though.
Yeah, I love that school. I mean, that school brings back a lot of memories for me. So, we talked a little bit about before the interview, before we started, and we talked about Urban Promise, which basically, runs the Camden Forward School and Urban Promise High School, and the programs that they run in Camden are just phenomenal. And a bunch of my friends have been volunteers at Urban Promise for many, many years. And in fact, my friend and I, we used to do a boat building program, and he still does it. He's in charge of it now, in Camden, near Sacred Heart, actually, on Broadway and Viola. So he goes there every day and builds boats and works with students. Now he hasn't been able to work with students, but it's an awesome program, a really awesome program. So what do you do besides basketball?
Not much. I'm usually either home or out hanging out with friends. I really like being home.
Yeah.
It's just cozy and I love it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard now because, hanging out with friends is kind of limited. Everybody's staying in their houses.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of limited where you can go. I mean, nothing's really open, so you can't really hang
Yeah,
out.
now that I
They
have
don't
no choice,
recommend
I
groups
want to
getting
leave.
together. It's tough. How tall are you?
I'm 5'9".
So you're fairly tall, which is great. And what position do you
Shooting
play?
guard.
Is that your favorite position?
Yes, I love to
Why
shoot.
do you
Yeah.
really? Why do you love it so
It's
much?
just because I'm good at it. It's just when it goes in the basket and you hear that sound, it's just great.
Yeah, I mean, from what I know, I mean, you're pretty much a 3 point specialist. I would have to say.
Yeah.
I mean, from going from talking to your coach, I mean, I think you hit what 69 3 pointers
Yeah,
this
I
year,
did.
and that's fantastic. That's awesome. I mean, that really you can make a difference in a game hitting that 3 pointer. Swing some momentum towards your team's way, which is
Yeah.
fantastic. So, if you could choose any word to describe yourself, what word would you choose, and why would you choose that word?
I would say I want to say I'm funny, but I'm not sure if that's completely true, but I'm always laughing all the time.
Well, I think having a good sense of humor is
Yeah.
important. So, do you like comedy itself, or you just like to tell
I
jokes?
just
You just have to
love comedy itself. Like I'll go on Twitter and just look at a bunch of memes and send them to my friends and stuff, and we'll all just start laughing.
I'll tell you what. I mean, in you know, today's, I guess with everything going on, it's nice to be able to laugh and it's nice to be able to smile. So if you can make people laugh and if you can make people smile, I think that's a really great gift. I mean, I think that's
Yeah.
fantastic. So when did you start playing
I
basketball?
started playing basketball in 6th grade.
So how did you get started?
My dad actually took me to like a practice that I didn't know I was going to. And my first time practicing, I actually threw up because I was so much running and I wasn't used to it. And I started crying and I just didn't like it at all. But I just kept going and going. And as time went on, I started to like it more and more.
So what made you so scared, or what made you like why was it so overwhelming to you?
I wasn't really active before I started playing basketball, so I was kind of like chubby when I was like in 6th grade. And as I started getting active, I started getting used to like running and doing stuff that was of that sort.
Now, when you started at 6th grade, I mean, did you feel like you were behind everybody else at the time? Because I'm sure there's kids that had started basketball when they were probably kindergarten or
Yeah,
first
I
grade.
felt like it was really hard for me to adjust to it, but I felt like my dad says it was like in my blood or whatever, and I just got used to it really fast. Like I was like a natural shooter.
That's great. I mean, I'm glad you stuck with it. I mean, to go in there at 6th grade while other kids are, have been there for a while and not to get intimidated. I mean, that shows a lot of determination, which is like fantastic. So, I mean, you never gave up. You kept on trying. So, how did you get better as a little kid, or what did you do to improve?
The people around me, like my coaches and stuff, like they really helped me because when I first started, I would like pass the ball every time I got it, and I would not want to shoot the ball in a game at all. Like I was so scared that I was gonna miss or airball or something. So like I was really shy at the beginning, but I feel like as people started encouraging me more and telling me that like I'm really good and like I can do this, I started to gain the confidence that I should have had in the beginning.
Wow. Imagine if you would have started
Yeah.
earlier too, right? It's like that's awesome. That's fantastic. So, what do you enjoy about the game of basketball the most? Like, why do you love it so much?
The people that I meet while playing it. Like I made so many good friends playing basketball that I'm still friends with today that I started playing with when I was in 6th grade, and it's just all the people that I meet, and the games are my favorite part of the game. I mean, my favorite part of basketball. And I just love playing games, and practice sometimes gets a little tiring, but the games are just super fun to me.
So, you like the
Yeah.
competition? So, what's your favorite part? Like, if you had like a moment, what would be your favorite moment of the game? Do you like the pregame? Do you like, during the game, the intensity? Do you like after the game, or what do
I
you
like
think?
during the game because I feel like this year whenever we were like struggling, I feel like we would like come together and like try and make things better for us. So like me and Ava, she's on my team, we will always work together to like try and make things better for our teammates because we were like our like we were people relied on us more during the game. So I feel like once we started working together, that was like my favorite part of the game.
That's great. So, who are your basketball role models?
My dad for sure,
Why is he your role
because
model?
he started playing basketball really young, and he always taught me like how to play and like how to be confident, and I just feel like he's just a great role model, and he was really good when he was young too.
So, do you think that your dad played an important role for you in your
Yeah, for
basketball career?
sure. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be playing basketball.
Wow. So what made him actually, thinking back on sixth grade, like what made him just throw you into that practice? Did he decide, or did he even ask you if you were going to do it, or he just made you do it?
He didn't like force me or anything. Like that's why I didn't start really young because he didn't want to force me to do something I didn't want to do. So I just feel like I did bring it up to him, and he just found somewhere where I could go practice, and we just went. I kind of don't remember, but it was really out of the blue when we went.
Okay. Well, let's skip ahead a little bit to high school. So I from talking to you earlier, you said that you went to Paul VI for your first 2 years, and then you end up going to Holy Cross. So, talk about a little bit about Paul VI and what kind of player you were, and then we'll transition to your Holy Cross career.
At Paul VI, it was a lot of fun. The games were fun. The girls were fun. I just felt like I was more of a role player though, and I felt like I needed to change and I needed to like gain my confidence more. So I talked to my parents and stuff, and we decided to like transfer. And so I went to Holy Cross.
That's great. I mean, when you're in Paul VI, how big was your class compared to Holy Cross? And you said Holy Cross only had 40 kids. So how about Paul VI?
Yeah, it was
school?
way bigger. There was like 2 something in my class, maybe 3.
Wow, that's great. So then, what made you finally decide to go to Holy Cross? Like, out of all the schools you could have chosen, why did you
My
pick Holy Cross?
AAU coach, they knew, oh my gosh. When I,
They knew.
yeah,
one
they
of the
knew
coaches there,
Coach
or
Joe.
one of
They
the
knew
players
Coach
there?
Joe. And they were like talking to him about me, and we just met up with Coach Joe and like the administration there, and we like figured stuff out because my parents didn't want me to go to a public school. So like a Catholic
Okay.
school was like the ideal for me. And when Coach Joe saw me play and stuff like that, he was really interested in me, and I just went there.
That's fantastic. So what was it like, at Holy Cross when you first got there? Where, when you first got to the practices and things like that, because I'm sure you had to sit out 30 days. So what was it like, practicing, knowing that you wouldn't be able to play right away and help the team?
It was hard for sure, but I had to deal with it either way. So I just went to every practice with the girls and had a lot of fun with them. Practices were still really fun, and I felt a part of the team still because everyone was so like friendly and nice to me, and I just made a lot of good friends.
Now, at Holy Cross, when you were practicing and you're preparing, and you're on the bench for the 30 days, were you like dying to get on the court or what? I mean, you sound like
Yeah,
a
I
competitor.
was like every time something went wrong, I was like, oh my gosh, like I could be in that game, like helping them right now, but I couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, I think you feel
Yeah.
helpless at that point, and but I guess you become a good cheerleader, and you appreciate what your other teammates can do, and then you appreciate what you can bring to the game itself, which is fantastic. Let's talk about some of your achievements in basketball through your career. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Like what? Like, what do you mean by that?
So, have you received any kind of awards or um, and been recognized for any kind of like special teams or anything like
I
that, or
had got
MVP?
MVP at the Spartan Showcase in at Deffert High School. I got all team tournament, I think, in one of the tournaments that we were in, and we also won the Boardwalk Classic in Wildwood.
Boardwalk
Yeah.
Classic. That sounds like fun. So, who did you play? Who did you play? What teams did you play there?
St. Dominic and Millville. And one of the games I scored
Wow,
seven
that's great.
3-pointers. Yeah.
Really, that's fantastic. That's awesome. And it says here that you were SJBIT all 20
Yeah.
all 20 team and team captain during your senior year. And did you always play varsity?
Yes. All through high school, yes.
That's fantastic. And you hit 69 3-pointers this year. So I from what I understand, that's the leader in Burlington County.
7th. Well, 7th and
7th?
Actually, I don't really remember.
Wow. You know what's funny? I think it's cool for me to be talking to a young lady who's really good and she doesn't really even pay attention. You know what I mean? Like you do, but you don't. You know what I mean? Like it means that to me that shows that you just really care about being the best player you can be, and whatever the stats
Yeah,
are, the
whatever
stats.
happens, happens.
Exactly. I love that. That's just fantastic. So what would you say were your strengths this season?
Definitely scoring and being able to like pick up my teammates whenever we were struggling.
Wow. So what's your like ultimate move? Do you have like a go-to move where if you need to score a basket, you're going to
Yes,
use
my
that move
step
in a
back.
game?
I use it all the time. I probably shouldn't, but I do it all the time.
But you
Yes.
feel like you can hit the basket?
Once I create some space, I
That's
just
fantastic.
feel good about it.
So what did it feel like being the captain of the team? Were you the only captain or were
There
there
was four
co-captains or?
captains. It was me, two seniors, and Ava, the junior.
Wow, that's fantastic. So how did it feel to be a captain this
It was
year?
really hard. Like sometimes Coach Joe would have us like talk to our teammates ourselves, and like whenever we were doing like not too good, we will all talk to each other, and like I'll give like everyone an opportunity to say what they needed to say, and we will like work it out with each other. So I would say it was kind of difficult to get everyone's like opinion and how to fix it, but it was also really fun.
Yeah, I mean, being the leader means you have a lot
Yeah.
of responsibility, and it can be tough because you're managing a lot of personalities. You're expected to lead the team and try to bring out the best in all of the other players, and also perform on the court. It's a lot of pressure. So if you can handle being a captain, I think you'll be successful. Going forward at the next level. So I mean, your strength was your scoring and being a leader. So what were your
I would
weaknesses?
say rebounding was one of my weaknesses. Could have handled the ball a little bit better, and what else was it? I feel like that's pretty much it. And probably me getting tired really fast because I was being face guarded a lot, and I just didn't have the stamina to keep up sometimes, and I just feel like I needed to get that up.
Yeah, it can be intense. I mean, when somebody's on you like a fly, man, you're like everywhere you go, they're on you, and you're trying to, get open, and they're grabbing you and pushing you and doing whatever, and you're fighting through that. It takes a lot of energy out of you. But I mean, it definitely didn't affect your scoring. You're still able to score and get the
Yeah.
ball in the basket. So even though you're tired, you're able to fight through it. So do you have any personal goals that you want to work
Definitely getting
on the off
stronger.
season?
Getting stronger is one of my big things. Before I go to college, I want to make sure that I have the strength that I need to be playing at that level.
That sounds great. So, what are you going to be doing this summer? So, obviously, we got no
Yes.
school. You're done, right? You're getting ready for college. You're getting ready to play. So, you have all this time to prepare. What are you going to do to get ready?
Once the gyms open back up, I will be going to the Croc with my dad, probably lifting some weights and getting some shots up.
That sounds great. Now, do you have a particular routine that you follow when you do your shooting, or are you just like, just
My dad
3-pointers?
makes me start under the basket. He's like, you should never start at 3-pointers. Like, that's not how you start, like, practice shooting. So we always start under the basket, and then we work our way out.
I'll tell you what, your dad's a smart man. I love it, inside out.
Yeah.
And then you just work it, That's great. So what's your most memorable basketball moment for this
Definitely
season?
before the games, because me and the girls are always like either laughing at something or listening to music and singing together, and it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean the camaraderie and the team like bonding is just so cool for everybody. The kids really enjoying themselves and it really being just a fun time, which is great. I'm glad you enjoyed that. So, what do you have like a really memorable moment for your entire career?
I feel like the entire time I've been at Holy Cross was really great. Like the whole experience that I had there with Coach Joe and the seniors that were there, and me being a senior, it was just really good and a lot of fun.
That's great. So you
I
made some
did.
good friends? That's fantastic. So I hear that you're going to be going to Marymount.
Yes.
That's great. Congratulations to you. So can you talk about a little bit about the school? Because I don't really know much about it. Maybe the listeners don't either. So can you tell us
Marymount's
about
in
it?
Arlington, Virginia. It's like 3 hours away. It's not that bad, but if there's really bad traffic, then it is that bad. But yeah, it's in Arlington, and it's a really small wanted to go to, because I feel like going to from a big school like Paul Six to Holy Cross, I realized that I needed a small environment to do better in school. And the basketball program there is really good. They make it to the NCAA tournaments every year, and I just wanted to be a part of a team that was winning and that seemed really close. And when I went to go visit, they seemed really close and really welcoming.
That's great. So I'm sure you have close contact with and communication with the coach. So has the coach talked about what's going to happen this fall as you prepare? Like, has she told you anything you need to get
They
ready
gave
to
us
do?
workouts to do like a few weeks ago. Actually, maybe a month ago. They gave us workouts to do, and I've been doing those to try and keep up with myself and try to get myself in shape before I go.
Now, do they have any plans to get everybody together, or do they do anything
We were supposed to
virtually?
do like a kid camp, like for basketball, but I think we can't do it in person, so I think we're gonna do it virtually in like July.
That's good. Then you'll be able to do it through like Zoom or something like
Yeah.
that, which is like fantastic. So what about the campus? What's it like there?
There's two campuses. There's one campus that's like in like a nice neighborhood, and the other campus is more like a city type feel, and I really like that because you can have like the best of both worlds, you know.
Yeah, I mean Arlington, Virginia is a beautiful, beautiful place. I mean the whole Washington D.C. area is just amazing. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to go to Arlington Cemetery. It's definitely somewhere you
Mm-hmm.
have to go. You know what I mean? You have to go. It's like amazing. They have the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and the changing of the guards. It's just a really just cool place to be. And it's fantastic. The school you're going to is going to be great.
Health
What are you going to be majoring
sciences
in?
and a minor in pre-physical therapy.
So you would like
Yes.
to be a physical therapist, huh? What made you interested in
When I
physical
hurt
therapy?
my knee junior year, I went to physical therapy, and when they were like helping me and like seeing what they were doing, it really inspired me, and I really liked it. So I was like, this is like what I want to do when I'm older.
What kind of
I
injury did you
tore
have?
my MCL. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. They said it was like your sister something to your ACL.
Okay. So then, did it happen in the middle of the season, or how
My
did it happen?
fifth game in, I fell on it and I couldn't play from then on.
Wow. So
I
then you
played
sat
five
30
games and then
days, then
yeah.
you played 5 games,
Mm-hmm.
and then you were out. So what did you do to get back to like full strength and get yourself ready for
I
the
went to
senior
the gym
year?
a lot with my dad. We did some shooting. I continued to do the stuff that the therapist told me to do at home, and I just been doing that. And I still do it.
So
Yeah.
do you still do it now?
Just in case, you know.
That's great. I mean, do you
Yeah, I
feel
do.
stronger now? Now, was when you first came back in your first game, like how did you feel? Were you scared at
Not
all?
really. I felt confident enough that I was gonna play well, so I just didn't worry about it, so I wouldn't like really think about it and actually hurt it more, you know.
Now, when you heard it during the game, like what was going through your mind when you heard it?
At
When you
first,
when you
it
were when you
didn't
were hurt?
feel like anything, but then I started walking a little bit, and I was like, "Yeah, this doesn't feel right." So I asked Coach Joe to take me out the game, and I was on the sideline, like walking it off, but it felt kind of weird. Like it didn't feel like it was out of place. It just felt kind of tight, you know. And like I went to the trainer, and they said it will be fine, and I waited a few days, but it just didn't get better. No, I
Wow.
didn't have to
So
get
did you have
surgery.
surgery? So you just had to sit out, let it heal on
Yeah,
its own. So it was probably a partial tear.
I did have a brace
Wow,
though.
that's crazy. So how long were you actually
Yeah,
out? You had a brace.
no.
Do you still wear a brace now? So how long were you actually out for?
The rest of the season and maybe a month or so after that, because I still got to play AAU.
And then you were able to return.
Yeah.
That's great. That's really great. I mean, if you're going to get hurt, most people that have knee
Yeah.
injuries are out for almost a year. Especially if they have an ACL injury. So for you to be able to, unfortunately not finish your high school season for your junior year, but get back for,
I think
AAU,
it was
that's
just a build
fantastic.
up for me falling all the time, and it just that last time I fell, it was just I had enough, you know.
Wow. Wow. Let me ask you, you're going to college, What kind of words of advice or encouragement would you give to girls, to young ladies that are maybe that are listening, that are in middle school, high school, that want to play in college? What would you tell them?
Definitely don't be scared. I'm gonna try and go in and be as confident as possible because I feel when I'm confident, that's when I play the best. So definitely just be confident and believe in yourself and know that you can do what you do, you know?
Well, how would you know? How did you know that you were in the right spot? How did you know that you picked the right school and the right program for
Coach
you?
Joe he's a great coach. Like he's always encouraging us, and like the girls there said how much they loved it, and I was like, yeah, like I went to like a practice in the summer and I watched them practice and they all came up to me and said hi and stuff like that. And I just felt really welcomed, and I was like, yeah, this is a great school and I really want to go here.
That's fantastic. So we're getting to the end of the interview. Typically, I've been inviting the seniors to, maybe say a few words, maybe thank anybody that's helped them along the way, and maybe just tell everybody anything else that they want people to know about them.
I would like to thank my parents for allowing me to go and experiencing the whole Catholic school experience and playing basketball there and just everything. And Coach Joe for being the best coach that I've ever had. I love him. And Coach Joe Lang, I love him too. They're both great coaches. And I feel very happy for whoever they get to come to Holy Cross. They're going to have a great time, you know?
That's fantastic. Kyla, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to you and your parents for agreeing to do this interview. I want to say thank you for, just being just real and honest. I think you're an intelligent young lady, and I know that you are going to be very successful in Marymount, and I can't wait to follow your career. I hope you stay in touch and, send me, messages, send me news clippings, let us know how you're doing. And just, I wish you the best of luck because I know you're
Thank
going
you
to be
so
so
much.
successful.
You
Oh, have
too.
a great night, okay?
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.